This is a college prep exam review, number 21. The instructions are to find the domain of each function, write using interval notation. Okay, for A, you have to, for these, it's either going to be under as a denominator of a fraction or as the expression under the square root, which can't be less than 0. So in the first one, you have a denominator of x plus 1, and you have to think of any number that plugged in for x would give you a negative number or a 0 in the denominator, because you cannot have 0 in the denominator. And only number would be negative 1, so x cannot equal negative 1. That's the only one. So to write in interval notation, you do parenthesis, because you always use a parenthesis with the infinity sign. So it would be parenthesis, negative infinity, comma, negative 1, parenthesis, union with what's on the other side of negative 1, which is negative 1, comma, infinity, parenthesis. That's the answer for A.
Oh.
Then there's B. Now B does not have a denominator, and it's not an expression under the square root either, so x can be all real numbers, and you can literally plug in any number in there and find that out. You can test it with a couple numbers. So x is going to be all real numbers. The way you write that in interval notation is parenthesis, negative infinity, comma, infinity, parenthesis. That's the answer to B.
Ah.
Then there's C. This is one of those expressions under the square root. We're doing functions with all real numbers, so it cannot be the imaginary number. So you cannot have anything less than 0. So you get 1 minus 4x is greater than or equal to 0. Then you solve for this. You subtract negative 1 from both sides. You get negative 4x is greater than or equal to negative 1. You divide by negative 4 on both sides, and if you divide or multiply this equation by a negative number, you have to switch the sign. So it's going to be x is less than or equal to 1 over 4, and that's your answer. And you write that in interval notation as parentheses, negative infinity, comma, 1 over 4 with a bracket because of this or equal to sign. And that is your answer to C.
Ah.